Yes guys, welcome back to another video. Welcome to the George Benson football channel. We are back with another Chelsea news video. We're going to be giving some big updates today on the future of Conor Gallagher. We're going to be talking about Enzo Maresca's fitness staff that will be joining him at Chelsea. There's a big backroom team that Enzo Maresca will have, and they want to shake things up a little bit. We'll be addressing that today. Going to talk a little bit about Jonathan Tah. We're going to talk more about Michael Olise and why I really think Chelsea need to be pushing this week to get this deal done. Olise isn't going to the Euros, and there is so much talk about him right now. I want to address it in more detail today. If you didn't see yesterday's video, we discussed Chelsea being interested in Benjamin Sesko. We know that that is a deal that will be done this summer, whether it's to Chelsea, could potentially be to Liverpool, Arsenal, Man United. All of these clubs are interested in the young striker. But something that you guys are going to be very interested in, I'm going to hand over whilst we talk about today's video sponsor. Yes, guys, so a massive thank you to Good Life Plus for sponsoring today's video. And what better way to be living the good life this summer than with flights to Germany for the football? Yes, we have got an epic one here for you lot. Flights to Germany, covered, hotel, 4-star hotel for you and your mate, £1,000 spending money, and tickets to watch the Three Lions against Serbia in the opening game of the competition this summer. It's absolutely free to enter. All you got to do is click the top link in the description, read the terms and conditions, and you must enter to be able to win this before June the 9th. And the winner will be contacted in due course by Good Life Plus. What an incredible giveaway for this summer's football. It's going to be mad. I'm flying back to Europe as well. Absolutely cannot wait. Good luck to each and every one of you. Click that link in the description and you're going to be going to watch the Three Lions play. Good luck to each and every one of you. Let's get back to it. Unbelievable opportunity, that one. Make sure you get involved in the description down below. But let's get back to things now and discuss. This is from Sky Cave Solicol. Chelsea won't let Conor Gallagher go for less than 50 million. Mason Mount went for 50 plus 5, and Gallagher is captain and regarded as better all-round player. Gallagher has been model professional, not agitated for big new deal. Aston Villa and Atletico want him. Spurs expected to bid. There isn't really a surprise in my mind why a club like Unai Emery's Aston Villa would be interested in Gallagher. This is a Jacob Steinberg tweet here. Aston Villa open talks over Gallagher move. Unai Emery desperate to sign the midfielder, but it could cost 50 million. Tottenham interested too. Let's not beat around the bush. I think as an all-round midfielder, Gallagher might actually be a better player than Mason Mount. I think we saw last season, Mount was out injured most of the time at Man United, but the way that Gallagher stepped up for Chelsea, when the club needed him the most, we needed to have players that weren't going to get injured. We needed players that really wanted to fight for the badge when it seemed like a lot of them didn't see anything worth fighting for. 5 goals, I think, last year, 7 assists, or I think it might have been more than that for Gallagher overall. It was a really, really good season for the midfielder. And the fact that we haven't seen any kind of progress, or we've not seen anything that the club have even attempted to open up discussions with Gallagher about signing a new deal. This is absolutely crazy, in my opinion. It's crazy because I feel as though there's going to be certain players that might break through at Chelsea from the academy where even if they become the most important player in the team, there's no future for them here. And at some point or another, the whole we buy loads of players and don't rely on the academy players thing, there has to be a time where this just doesn't work out. When you look at the Amari Hutchinson story that we spoke about yesterday, Chelsea want to sell Amari Hutchinson for 25 to 30 million. And when you look at that, yes, Amari Hutchinson could become a great player. Chelsea may end up looking a bit silly for selling him. If you then go out and buy a Michael Olise, who's 21 years old and he's a top Premier League player, then it all kind of makes sense as to how the club can justify spending 60 million by selling another asset for 30, and you get a better player as a result. I think Olise is a better player than Hutchinson. But when it comes to the role that Conor Gallagher has in this Chelsea team, not just in the team, but in general in the squad, when it comes to like the fans and the disconnect that we experienced last season and how it is obviously important for the image of the club, for Chelsea to be seen as having a good relationship between the manager, the players, the fans, the board. It's been chaos. It's been absolute chaos. And Conor Gallagher, I've said this a lot, but I've kind of stopped saying it because I just basically accepted that the club were going to sell him no matter what. But my honest opinion here, it doesn't matter how good of a transfer window we have with players coming in. We might get a Benjamin Sesko as a striker option. We might get Michael Olise as an upgrade on the right wing. We might bring in, we're already going to talk about another centre-back we've brought in later, and we might strengthen all areas of the field. But you let Conor Gallagher go, what? We're just going to hope now that Romeo Lavia, who played 32 minutes for us last season, will miraculously just alleviate all of those injury worries that we've seen. Is that what we're expecting here? Andre Santos has a good season, second half of the season at Strasbourg. Can he come in and do the Gallagher role? Can he replace what we would lose by selling Conor Gallagher? All while, this is the crazy bit, all we seem to hear is noise, 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 player, 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 buy, from foreign countries, from other leagues, as well as your Olises in the Premier League. But to lose Gallagher, a player that will play 38 games a season, to a team that we are directly competing with, to strengthen them, is just mind-blowing. It's absolutely mind-blowing. The links to Atletico Madrid, look, this doesn't surprise me in the slightest. I think if I was to talk about Gallagher, and I would say he's Chelsea, but if I was to mould him to another team, he's got Atletico Madrid written all over him. Diego Simeone would make him an absolute demon at Atletico. And the thing about Gallagher that I respect more than anything else is the fact that despite all of this, when he's talking in interviews all the time, it's about how much he loves Chelsea. Even the latest regarding Enzo Maresca. Myself and everyone at Chelsea are excited and happy to work with Enzo Maresca. We want to get Chelsea back to where they belong. This is for a player to have grown up as a Chelsea fan, wanting to be a Chelsea player, to be a Chelsea player. We should be keeping hold of this guy at all costs. We should be cherishing what a brilliant hard worker he is and what he brings to this team. And I think when you look at the way that Enzo Maresca likes to play, with those 2 8s that are advancing up the field, I can definitely see Gallagher being able to do that role. And I trust him right now a lot more than I trust Romeo Lavia. No offence to Lavia, but he was injured the whole season. And you can't put a price when you look at the way that Chelsea have been ravaged all year with injuries. You can't put a price on a player that is going to be fit and healthy every single week. It's absolute madness for me. And to see clubs like Villa, who are ambitious, going into the Champions League, Spurs, it's obvious. Conor Gallagher is literally 100 times a player that Pierre-Emile Højbjerg will ever be, or ever has been. It's mental. But anyway, enough about Gallagher. We move on now. I just needed to get that fully off my chest, and I still genuinely think he's going to leave Chelsea soon. Tosin Adarabioyo. I know a few of you completely butchered my pronunciation for that, or I butchered the pronunciation perhaps, and you guys called me out for it. I'm sorry if I did get that one wrong. Completing his medical today at Chelsea. As planned, all taking place and being signed this week. He's joining CFC as free agent, as exclusively revealed last week. Here we go, confirmed. Look, when we're replacing Thiago Silva, when you look across the last season, yes, Chelsea ended the season very well, and it's funny that how it coincided with a lot of players coming back from injury. Chelsea here have to replace Thiago Silva, and I don't necessarily think that Tosin will be that Thiago Silva replacement. I genuinely feel as though that replacement is already at the club. If Wesley Fofana stays fit, then I think he could have as big of an impact on the club as Thiago Silva has over the long run. Look, Thiago Silva came in, won a Champions League, was one of the best defenders the world has ever seen. That's not an exaggeration either. I'm not saying that Wesley Fofana can be that. I'm talking about what he can do within this Chelsea squad. You can't replace players like Thiago Silva because it's that word again that I've used that has been called out for before. It's the intangibles. It's not that Thiago Silva scores loads and loads of goals and he's bagging in Janino-style free kicks. It's the experience. It's the leadership. It's not going to be possible to replace him. But with Wesley Fofana coming back for the start of next season, it is another number in the squad to give us options in that position. But Tosin, good quality centre-back. He's not young either. He's going to be turning 27 soon, I think. He's experienced. I think it's a seamless transition from Fulham to Chelsea. He could literally walk. And as well as that, I also think that he's a good front foot playing defender who doesn't really get the chance to do that playing in a Fulham team that are constantly under pressure. So you put him around better players. He's got a brilliant pass on him, great vision for a ball, which is why there could be comparisons to a Thiago Silva here. Not that we can replace him. It's a big difference between like comparing a trait of a player and saying, he's definitely as good, mate. He's replacing him. Do you know what I mean? Hopefully you know what I mean. But Tosin is joining Chelsea. Free agent, good sign-in. Probably still going to lose Trev, but we've already spoke about that at length. We move. This is an exclusive from Fabrizio Romano's podcast. Chelsea and Bayern Munich are interested in Jonathan Tah, says CF Bayern. Dayot Upamecano has also been linked with Chelsea. Could he be an option if Tah joins Bayern? Upamecano supposedly leaving Bayern Munich this summer. I feel as though he's one of those players where a couple of years ago, I feel like we've gone back in time on GBFC where we were interested in buying this guy. He goes to Bayern Munich. We're all like, damn it, we've missed out. I also remember, I think, Samuel Umtiti, who doesn't even play football anymore. Chelsea were desperate to buy him at one point too. So there's a lot of defenders, there's a lot of footballers that they get that move, you miss out on him, would have cost you big money, they don't become that player. The question here is, wouldn't Upamecano be, is he actually as good as we once thought he was? Was he just playing in the wrong side? Does he just need a change of scenery to get that love for football back again to perform at the highest level? I don't know. I think these are two decent centre-back options that Chelsea should be in the market on. But I'm not really fully sold on either of them, to be fair. I don't want to lose Trev. Do you know what I mean? That's just always hugging the back of my mind. I just don't want Chelsea to lose Trevor Chalobah. But anyway, thoughts on those two centre-backs in the comments down below. The next one, this is a tweet from Matt Law. This is an interesting one. Chelsea players are in for a shock under Enzo Maresca's fitness coach. Sauce, salt and pepper, fried eggs could all be off the menu. Now, we've got to look into this a little bit here. We've heard stories from the past where clubs have had fitness coaches come in, and then you've got, I think it was the Spurs players, I think under Juande Ramos. The Spurs players were like begging the security guards to go and get the McDonald's to eat and stuff like that. This can go one of two ways here. These kind of strict regimes with a bunch of young players who are addicted to telephones, social media, all of this stuff, and then they've got someone who they're not entirely sure about yet, who's immediately telling them, look, mate, no salt and pepper, no fried eggs, no sauce, and various other things that will probably be banned as a result. It could also just go tits up where the players get so frustrated about it. I think it's good. I think that a footballer's career is so short. You look at Thiago Silva with hyperbaric chambers in his house. I think a lot of footballers could learn from literally taking meticulous care over what you eat, how you recover, what you do with your body. And this could work, it might not. And to be fair, I'm going to go with the optimistic idea that this would be great for the Chelsea squad, and a bit of structure and a bit of order could be exactly what these young players need. We move to discuss Romelu Lukaku. Currently, Chelsea are not open to loaning Romelu Lukaku. This is absolutely delightful news to my ears. I still have a strong possibility whether or not Chelsea are even remotely interested in Osimhen. Apparently his wage demands are just massive. I still see Romelu Lukaku moving to Naples to be reunited. That's the word, with Antonio Conte. Now, going to take this tweet here from Vince at @blue_footy, an account that I follow. I think it's a really good account. You guys should check it out. Under Pochettino, I didn't see the need for Olise because Palmer can start wide and use the pocket while the fullback pushes up. But Maresca uses double eights. If you want to see my 4-3-3 Maresca tactics video, check out the card on the screen, with wingers hugging the line. In that shape, Palmer is more suitable as an 8, leaving Noni as the only right winger in the squad if Sterling leaves. Sterling can also be considered as a left winger, but there are rumours that Raheem Sterling could be going to Saudi Arabia, and he's also wanted in Turkey, which is an interesting story. But the point is, the shape will likely open up a space on the right. It's up to Chelsea to promote Angelo or Hutchinson or sign a high-quality right winger like Michael Olise. This is why I think Chelsea are signing Michael Olise. There is a lot of talk that Man United want him. I think it makes so much sense for Manchester United to want him. Anthony is a laughable joke of a footballer, and Olise is an incredible player. But when you look at this here, Angelo or Hutchinson, Chelsea have already said that they want to sell Hutchinson this summer. And like we said at the start of the video, if you can get 25-30 million for Hutchinson, Michael Olise costs 60 and is already performing at an outrageous Premier League level. It is the kind of upgrade that you can justify spending that 30 million on. Angelo, not sure. I don't think he's experienced enough yet. I think he's a good player. He does love, once again, a bit like Noni, isolating the fullbacks in those one-on-one positions. But I think this makes so much sense here. When you look at the Enzo Maresca shape, and we've already done 2 videos on it, but as we get closer to pre-season, as we start to learn who's leaving, who's going to be coming in, we're going to look more at what Chelsea do and how that starting 11 will look going into that opening pre-season game over the course of the next month or so. But I think, again, I've said this many times, you cannot turn your nose up when a player of Olise's ability comes calling. I know he's not experienced, but look at the way that this guy carries and controls games for Crystal Palace. Him and Eze together, unbelievable. I've also seen rumours that we're interested in Eze as well, which would be another mad signing based on the idea that we're probably going to be losing Gallagher, losing Hutchinson. You can't just leave holes in the squad, and Enzo Maresca will know that. So yeah, I firmly expect Chelsea to push on, and I think it will get to a position where it's about Michael Olise. Do you want Chelsea or do you want Man United? That's my thoughts on that. Let me know your thoughts on today's Chelsea news in the comments down below. Thanks for all the love and support. Subscribe if you are new. Smack a like on it if you did enjoy. Come on, you Blues.